Joining me today is Roo Klaers out of Orlando, Florida. Out of an audience of more than 50,000 agents nationwide, Roo has been selected to represent Broker Agent Advisor as this month's Broker Agent of the Month for the state of Florida. And Roo, I've enjoyed our conversations. I've enjoyed the process and the opportunity to get to know you a little bit, and proud to share this moment with you. And I just want to say congratulations on being selected and being recognized. And thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, it's my hope, Roo, that people that watch this video get just a sense for who you are and maybe a little bit about why you were selected. And I thought we would just explore a few questions together.
Okay.
I want to start with the topic of real estate. You're in Orlando, Florida. There's a million things you could be doing professionally. What was the inspiration for you to get into this business and become a realtor?
Well, it all started with a beautiful little friend telling me I would be good at selling timeshare. And we got lots of that in Orlando. And after a while, I decided I wanted a business model that had more of a relationship aspect to it. I was a headhunter before timeshare, and I had an opportunity to really build a relationship with my client. And so I think after having the success that I did, it just left a little bit out of the equation. And I really enjoy making friends, having a good time, getting to know people. So that was kind of a natural progression into residential real estate.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And obviously it was a good choice. What I find interesting about this business, and you had a sense for what it is coming in, but I think from the outside looking in, most people think that all real estate agents make a ton of money and this job's really easy. And as you know, obviously nothing could be further from the truth. And the statistics would show that most people don't find success in this business. And so I'm curious, what keeps you in this business? What do you find most rewarding about it? What helps you get up every day and get back after it?
Well, yes, this is definitely a hard business. When I was in timeshare, they all said that was the hardest business to be in, and I beg to differ. It's a different kind of hard. I think if you are not a type of person that has, kind of a goal orientation or has a desire to just see it to the end, really, this will eat you up alive. Because there were many days where it would just be like, oh my goodness, especially with the market the way that it has been. I think what really keeps me in the thick of it is knowing that on the other side of this transaction is a person. And if you lose sight of that and it just becomes a financial transaction, it really doesn't have as much meaning. And I think for me, realizing that what I'm doing actually impacts someone's life, whether I am helping them realize their dream home, the home that they're going to start their family in, or the financial aspect of selling the home and getting into the next step for their life. If I didn't realize that was attached to a human being, I don't think it would make me stick through it. I think I would be okay to give up.
I've recognized that, and I've talked to lots and lots of agents, but to be in this business for a long time and to maintain success over time, you've got to really care about people. You have to have a level of compassion, or like you said, this business can just become too hard. Roo, I found a testimonial of yours, and I feel like it's an appropriate place to listen to how a client would describe going through that process with you as their realtor. Said, I'd love to take a moment to share my experience with Roo Klaers, who showed pure support, dedication, and guidance through one of the toughest decisions I had to make, which was to sell my Orlando home and relocate back to Illinois. Her undivided attention and commitment to helping me was pure greatness. She made this process so stressless that I can't thank her enough. She even checked on the family during our road trip to Illinois to make sure we are okay. I would and will recommend Roo Klaers and the Coldwell Bankers team to all who are in search of either buying or selling. Thank you, Roo, and your team for all you have done. That's pretty high praise. That's a Congrats on the kind words. That's exactly what an ideal outcome should sound like.
Thank you. They were they were a lovely family, and what's really fun is that they're moving back, or they moved back to Illinois, where I'm from. So it was awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Mhm.
You, my friend, you live in a place that most everybody else in the country is trying to plan how to vacation to at some point throughout the year.
Yeah.
What is it like to live, work, and play in Orlando, Florida?
Well, when I moved here, in my family's infinite wisdom, we moved between the airport and Disney. So we get all the fun touristy stuff. I will tell you that Florida man is real. And if you don't know, Florida man is the crazy people in Florida that do things that are noteworthy and newsworthy. And why do they do that? We have some of the best and the worst weather, depending on when you're here. And I think, as my father would say, I do not understand how lucky it is that I live here, because many people save up for years. I know in my other life, clients saved up, 5, 10 years just to go to Disney. Disney is not a cheap option. And so having had the opportunity to go to Disney like pretty much any day I wanted to, because my former husband used to work there. We would go for fireworks, we'd go for dinner, and we'd go home. I think what you have the opportunity to offer in Orlando is a lot of grace to the people that are trying to make their way to experience their moment with the mouse, because they can be very stressed out people. So I think having a lot of flexibility is good. The other side benefit to that is we have some really amazing restaurants and some really amazing playgrounds through Universal and Disney. So, and SeaWorld, we have a lot of really cool stuff here in Orlando. The other reason that regular people come here is because we are tax free, and Disney and Universal pay a lot of our taxes for us. So we have the benefit of having a tax free life. So I know the stats say that like 100 people a day are trying to move to Orlando. So we're growing like crazy here, which also makes it a lot of fun. So now our highways look like you're driving in LA. It's crazy. But I've been here for almost, well, maybe more than 30 years, and
Wow.
I don't think I would live anywhere else. I love it here.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Before I let you go, I want to ask you one more question. We touched on how hard the market's been the last couple of years, and just how hard the business is in general. And yet here you are. I think a lot of people, Roo, could benefit from leaning into your experience. And so I just want to ask you, if you were to give one piece of advice to a peer in this business, what would that one piece of advice be?
Be intentional. When you get started in this business, know how much it's going to cost you to start. Realize that your first year is going to be the hardest. And like all small businesses, the first year is the hardest. And you're not thinking of yourself as an entrepreneur, it's going to be even harder. This is a business. This is not a hobby, and you should treat it as such. I think a lot of times realtors are not contemplating the fact that they are starting a business. They're thinking, I'm just going to go sell a house. It's not that simple. There's a lot of, especially in Florida, we are the part of the transaction that deals with the legalities, and we hold it together. We don't have lawyers to back us up. It's us and the title company. So intention is really key, because you need to set yourself up for success. And the only way to do that is if you go in, clear-eyed and prepared, knowing what you're getting into. This is not a lark.
It surely isn't. I'm glad to know you, Roo. I'm glad to spend a couple minutes shining a light on you. You represent the industry well. I just want to say congratulations again on the recognition, and I wish you nothing but joy and abundance on the rest of your journey.
Thank you, Brian. That's my favorite. Take joy.
Take care of yourself.
You too.